What I've put together is 5 lecture series, all of them hopefully between kind of 20 and 30 minutes. But I've put them together that they stand alone, but they also build a story. So hopefully by the end of this one, you'll really see how we've put together a program for the hip and really understand the background, the research for it. So if we start with number 1 in the series, the role of proprioception in muscle control. It was probably about 10 years ago that I read some pivotal research that made me think that we need to really utilise the proprioceptive system, the motor cortex, and even areas of the brainstem to help subjects or help clients achieve effective motor recruitment pattern. Because a lot of the research says just by getting a muscle strong doesn't mean that you'll necessarily recruit it when you want to recruit it. For example, when you're a hurdler or you're a mineral worker. So it started me on a road of understanding and trying to incorporate proprioception in our rehabilitation programs. Now, part of this presentation was presented at the World Low Back Pain Conference in LA in October last year as an invited speaker. So if we look at what is the role of proprioception in muscle control, Tamila did his PhD work on proprioception, and one of his major findings was that muscle receptors play a significant and perhaps primary role in joint position sense. And I don't know about you guys, but when I went through uni, we always were taught that a lot of our proprioception came from the joint receptors to where we are in place. But in actual fact, Tamila is saying we get a huge amount from the muscles, from muscle spindles and the length of muscles, telling us therefore where we are in 3 dimensions. And when you think about it, it has to be that way. Otherwise, you had a hip replacement and a knee replacement, or a knee replacement, you'd never really know where your leg was in space, would you? Yet I've had patients with 2 hip replacements who've got back to A-level tennis in a senior level, but still you need to know where you are in space. So muscles are giving us a lot of 3-dimensional positional sense and proprioception. Let's now talk about body sway. Very few people talk about the influence of body sway, rehabilitating body sway to bring back normal movement patterns. Now, body sway is a really important thing to balance reactions. What happens is I'm standing here. I may look like I'm standing still, but I have a continual body sway. So as I breathe and my ribs come up, I'll sway back. And as my ribs drop down and I move forward, my body will sway forward. And if I go to lift my arm, my body will go back. What my body will first do is, as I'm thinking to move my arm, will sway forward. And then I'll lift my arm and I'll sway back. Can you think of why the body may do that? Why have a perpetual movement? The reason being is then the body's always ready to react. Can you see the system isn't off? It's just perpetual eccentric, concentric. Ready if the floor moves below you or you have to react, the system is on and ready to go. So, can you see that that's an important thing that we need in postural reactions? But what happens to that when we have pain?